Yo, what up, y'all? All right, so today, y'all, I got a little bit of sad news, man, in particular to a piece of gaming tech for the PS5 that seems to actually be coming to an end. And it sucks, y'all, because I actually enjoyed using this, and that is the PS VR2. So let's talk about it. So Sony, man, they launched the PS VR2 back in February, I think, of 2023 for over $550. So before we get into all the other details and everything, I want to kind of start right here. See, to me, this was actually Sony's first mistake when it came to launching this product. And I know you're probably sitting there, you're like, C-Kid, what you mean? Why would you say something like that? Listen, the reason I'm saying that is because why would you make an accessory to use with the PS5 that costs more than the console in itself? Any accessory to the main console, its job is to always just enhance the system, but it never should actually cost more than the console needed in order to enjoy that accessory. So this to me was kind of like that first red flag as to why this VR headset seems to be coming to a close. And I'm going to talk about another one here later in this video. Now, I do understand that there are other VR headsets that are out there, like the Meta Quest that is out there that is crushing it at a $500 price point. So I get it competitively why they actually wanted to price it at the $550 price tag, but to me, I just kind of feel like PlayStation should have only focused on its PS5 audience who's already bought into their ecosystem and gave us a VR headset instead of trying to necessarily compete with the Meta Quest. But instead, I feel like they should have just focused on building as well as expanding the ecosystem that Sony has already built. Like, for example, like if you've already gotten the largest market share of console gamers, and I mean, you're crushing it, especially when you compare it to something like Xbox. Like, why would you try to price your audience out of $550 on a headset of not really proven technology just to see if people would even like it or not? See, to me, y'all, the goal of this headset should have just been get this into every PlayStation owner's home versus pricing this bad boy just way too high to the point where it's something that people really gonna kind of ponder on or think about as, is this something that they really need or is this something that they just want to try? See, I think, to me, I feel like the best price point for this should have been like $300 max. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is games. Now, this one right here to me is probably one of the biggest issues that I was seeing with the PSVR 2, and it honestly being that there hasn't really been that many games that I feel interest enough people to even want to invest in this type of hardware, or I haven't seen any marketing dollars or any ads or anything like that really put behind this product to promote it like they did the PS5, if that makes sense. Which again, this thing costs more than the console in itself. And yes, I'm gonna keep saying that because it's the truth. Now, I can't front y'all, the game Horizon Call of the Mountain, man, was so freaking dope of a game. Like, it really felt like I was in that environment. And you guys know if you've played it, like I'm talking about when you first booted that bad boy up, you in the boat, you really feel like you rowing on the water, you got the surrounding trees and everything around. Like, I felt like I was in Avatar's Pandora. And another game I used to play that was actually really dope was Beat Saber. But the issue that I had with that is, here's the thing, I've bought $550 for the actual headset itself. Then I go buy the game, but in Beat Saber, most of the music to be able to play the game was behind a paywall. So it's kind of like, okay, I spent $550 for this. I spent another $50 to $60 for the game. That puts me about $600. And then once I'm in the game, I got to pay more just to really be able to enjoy it with the music that I personally want to listen to in order to play the game. You get what I'm going with this? Like, to me, it's games like that I felt like it really shouldn't be that much behind a paywall, to the point where, again, you're pricing yourself out of the competition. But fast forward on to 2024, and PlayStation has only reported that 2 PSVR 2 titles are actually in the works today. Yeah, just 2 of them bad boys, which to me, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, that's just not enough for me to ever recommend that product to you guys in any form, way of fashion, or even just for me to run out and rebuy it, because like I said, I sold mine. Plus, it's been reported that Sony has cut funding for PSVR 2 games in general, which again is another L for this hardware. And if you didn't know, Sony also laid off developers at Firesprite, which is the actual house that was responsible for Horizon Call of the Mountain. And they also ended up closing up the London studio, which was the maker of PlayStation VR Worlds, which was just the game that was bundled with the original PSVR. So to me, with all of that kind of going on, it's kind of the nail in the coffin, because if you laying off developers of the game that I personally thought was the best one that they had with this entire system, I feel like it's kind of downhill from there. Now, the last thing that I actually want to talk about with you guys, and that is just the hardware in general. Now, the biggest issue that I had when I had this system here was the fact that you had to have a connected cable from the headset that plugged directly into the PS5. And to me, it personally would have been nice if everything was wireless, or if they could have just used like that new PlayStation Link technology somehow in order to kind of get that work, maybe an update or something like that. Because when I had it, y'all, having those wires get in the way of me wanting to freely move around was not the wave, and it was kind of annoying. And I just got to be real with y'all, especially when you guys look at something like the Meta Quest that doesn't have any wires and is cheaper in cost than the $550 per unit of the PSVR2. So look, y'all, I don't know, maybe you guys agree with me, maybe you guys don't, but I'm just gonna speak my truth and just keep it real with you guys. So let's have a discussion down below what you guys think in the comments, because listen, y'all, I hate to see what's going on with the PSVR2, because like I said, I genuinely like it, but is this the fall of the PSVR2 as a gaming headset? Or are you guys upset like I am about it because it actually is dope? Or are you guys happy that it is going away and maybe they can focus on something like the PS5 Pro, or even the upcoming rumor new handheld device that I talked about in these videos that is right up here on the screen? So go ahead, pick your poison, man, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Squad, we out.